What's happening, guys? Today was my squat day. I didn't film any of my mobility, but I did do a little bit before this. One thing I always really like is doing warm up sets before your true working sets. I did film one little thing that I like doing in between sets. I don't like static stretching, the major muscle group, obviously, that you're working during the movement. I wouldn't want to stretch my quads or my glutes or my hamstrings during a squat, but I like doing this for the reason of stretching out the psoas muscles. I'm really flexing the glutes here to help really stretch out the hip flexors. If you look at the origin and the insertion of the hip flexors, they actually attach to the lower spine and all the way down to the inside of the thighs, almost like the groin. So that's definitely an effective way to stretch them. And you do feel the improvement almost instantly. I have a little bit of a different take on mobility than most people, I think. I think mobility is kind of starting to become the sexy topic on YouTube. It's kind of getting all the YouTube hits, and it's kind of stirring up all the questions, leaving all the comments on YouTube, and what's your mobility like and all that. And I think that mobility is very important, and I think that it definitely has its place. But my theory is kind of that you should find your minimum effective dose of mobility. You should find as little mobility as possible. No. As little mobility as you need as possible to get your effective workout in. To get the workout, to get the movement you desire. And I think some people have it a little bit backwards. I think some people, they see mobility as, oh, another thing to add. Oh, here's another thing to add. And they end up finding a half hour worth of mobility to do before they even start lifting, before they even start working out. Not that I really think it's so destructive, but if you can concentrate your time better overall in the amount of mobility you're doing and the amount of sets you're doing, I think you'll probably have a more effective workout. If you could find your 5 or 10 minutes worth of mobility that you can do every workout, I think you'd be better off than someone who knows 45 minutes worth of mobility that they could do but might not always have time to do. I think that a lot of mobility you can actually find within your training, within learning a squat, within learning a deadlift. And that's one reason I really like Bulgarian split squats. They really force you to stretch the hip flexor through the motion. They're somewhat of a dynamic stretch in themselves. This is my third set of squatting. It really started to feel pretty consistent at this point. Um, Even the last rep wasn't too grindy, which is really what I want. I think I'm gonna do this weight for one more week, try to get another 3x5, and then eventually start progressing. For anyone who's wondering, those are Wiru Warriors, I believe. They are Olympic shoes. They do elevate at the heel. They do increase range of motion at the ankle. And they definitely do help. These are the Bulgarian split squats that I really like doing. You could just see the rear elevated foot is absolutely forced into position to stretch at the hip flexor. So this is another good example of getting in your mobility during your working sets. Over here, this is another machine that I was doing. One reason I like to do machines are after your stabilizers and everything are really shot from, a squat and then a Bulgarian split squat. This is kind of something that you can do no brainer. You can kind of just push yourself on it and you're not really risking any injury, or you're not really risking tweaking anything, doing anything weird. I wanted to finish up the workout with a little bit of core work, which I do these, not the greatest angle, but what I'm doing is I'm standing here and I'm doing cable crunches, really blowing out all my air, so really compressing the transverse abdominis, which I feel helps activate the rectus abdominis, possibly just giving a little bit more room to get that real good squeeze and contraction at the abs. What's happening, guys? Walking back from my girlfriend's now. Went in the pool again and stuff. Little stuff, just keep active, have fun, of course. But figured on this walk home I would take the opportunity to say, if anyone has any questions, of course throw them in the comment section down below. And I'm pretty sure I'll probably answer every question, all 9 of them. No, all 3 of them, all question, but whatever. Currently, I'm working towards a long off season, pretty much lean bulking, not trying to even gain too much, don't even really have a set number on how much I want to gain per week or anything like that as of right now, kind of just making sure strength gains are happening. I feel like when I'm gaining on a scale consistently, it's noticeable that I'm gaining fat. But if I don't notice that I'm gaining consistently and my strength is increasing, I can almost swear that my time isn't being wasted and that I am putting on lean body mass, which is ultimately the goal. So, thanks for watching, guys.